Okay. Welcome all. This is the January 17, 2023 first meeting of the year of the Environmental Management Commission. I am seeing enough of the commissioners to call quorum, so we'll get going, assuming that the empty chair will be filled shortly with John Olson. We have from District 1 giveaway John Burns.
Yes,
Wait,
here.
John, wait. There. District 2 is open. If anyone's interested, please apply. District 3 is Del Otsuka. You want to wait? There she goes. We think John is here, but not in front of the camera yet. Melissa Cardwell from District 5 is absent today. Lee McIntosh from District 6. Don't see Dee Fulton. Is she on the line? So Dee Fulton is not here yet. She's from District 7. District 8 is Rick Gaffney. And I am Georgine Adams, the chair and representing District 9. And I'll introduce you to John Olson when he appears. So meeting is called to order. My computer says 9:05. First order of business is approval of the minutes for November 30, 2022. Could I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
That was Rick and Del. Move to any corrections? Comments on the meeting? Seeing none, let's have a vote to accept the approve the minutes of November 30, 2022. I'll say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, minutes are approved. And thank you again to Peter. Those are long and arduous minutes. It's Peter Sir, our secretary, and appreciate all the work he puts in on it. Statement from the chair. Welcome to 2023. I am determined this is going to be a better year yet. We're over mostly the COVID hump, and lots going on and lots to do. I think I know I'm going to be positive. It's going to be a good year. We have a lot of content and a great amount of information provided already in the director's report. Thank you very much. Ramsey Mansour is there. Wave, Ramsey. And we'll be getting to you. There were no written comments submitted. Is that correct, Peter?
That's correct, Chair.
Okay. Are there any persons present on the call on the Zoom that would like to make testimony at? Okay, I've got one person, Michelle Melendez.
Yes.
Would you like to give comment up front or at the time we talk about the item?
I'd like to give comment now if that's
Okay.
that's good.
And which items are you wanting to comment on?
Well, first I just mahalo for this opportunity and for all of you that you guys are doing. I love that you guys are going to be talking about your goals and objectives and benchmarks, core values and missions today. Because what I want to talk about is getting on your guys' agenda for next meeting about allowing in foreign Wolbachia bacteria injected insects into the Big Island. This is a huge concern, not only mine, but of thousands of residents around the state, and especially on this Big Island. We have this Wolbachia bacterium is extremely dangerous, and to allow a foreign bacterium onto the islands, that once it's here, it's not going away. just like the mongoose, just like the fire ants, just like all of the other the kokies. And so I want to be on the agenda. I want to do a presentation for you guys. I have a tropical disease specialist, Dr. Pang, who has an alternative to saving our native birds by not bringing in these this foreign bacteria. And so you guys have an opportunity here to stop a foreign bacterium that really has the potential. Mosquitoes, insects that do have this Wolbachia bacteria have been shown to enhance West Nile virus, have been shown to enhance malaria. Actually has a horizontal gene transfer. They say, you know, only the males are going to be released, but there is a horizontal gene transfer where different mosquitoes can have this bacterium without a female being released. And the Maui assessment has shown that it is likely females will be released, which will create a completely new insect, new mosquito that is we don't know what that's going to do to the bats who eat the mosquitoes, to the dragonflies who eat the mosquitoes, the over 40 billion mosquitoes that they want to release in Maui. That is going to cause impact to the environment. The packaging that they're going to release with these helicopters, with the people that release them, how long are they going to biodegrade? And this list is so long, and I would really love to start with I live on the Big Island, I'm on the Hilo side, with our Big Island that says, no, we're going to make a stand for the people, for the Aina, for the birds, because what happens to the birds if a female mosquito with this Wolbachia bacteria that sterilizes eggs, what happens to the native birds if she gets out and starts to breed a new type of mosquito? You know, they don't know that. They also don't even know if this is going to work. And they also have no end date. They say the minimum is going to be 20 years. They want to create a lab on Maui to create more of these mosquitoes. And the most craziest part of this whole thing is that Hawaii has no plan if anything goes wrong. Singapore had 3 mosquitoes get out, 3 females, and they had to eradicate all of them in the area. And Hawaii has
okay,
zero plan.
your time is up. I'm sorry, I should have said it initially. You had 3 minutes for individual testimony. Unfortunately, I need to let you know that this commission does not deal with invasive species or mosquitoes or bird disease. Our charter is strictly to look at the handling of solid waste and liquid waste. I believe that you need to go to somebody in the agriculture department. I don't know if any of the other commissioners are involved in those areas, but it's not what we do and would be inappropriate to be on our agenda. Does anybody else have any knowledge of where she might be better pointed?
I would contact the Department of Land and Natural Resources, the Division of Forestry and Wildlife. They do invasive species issues.
Okay, I'll put my email into the chat. Thank you guys so much for your time. And I'm just so grateful that I was able to speak and let you guys know of this issue, because Environmental Management Commission, I mean, I thought this was the right place, but I appreciate your guys' time, and I'll put my email into the chat.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Hawaii Forest and Trail is also funding some of the work, so you could reach out directly to them to talk with them as well.
Hawaii Forest and Bird, you said? What was that?
And Trail.
Forest and Trail.
Forest and Trail, thank you.
Okay, do I see that we have another commenter, Mr. Singh? Did you had your hand up? Did you want to make testimony?
Actually, I would love to make testimony, but I have been trying to get a hold of the agenda, and even still, I accepted the cookies for the agenda. Fortunately, they're not chocolate chip or oatmeal or raisin cookies, but the cookies are not allowing me, even though I've cleared them, I'm still not being able to see the agenda. So hopefully we could fix
Maybe you
that.
can tell me the topic that you would like to talk about.
I
so that
can't
we
even
can-
look at that. Can't even look at the agenda, so I don't know what the topics are.
No, what topic would you like to provide testimony on? Just
Uh,
what issue
Oh,
area?
there it is. All right, thank you. Actually, I more importantly, I just wanted accessibility to the public to have accessibility to the agenda before these events. So I was a commissioner in a city before I moved to Hawaii, and it's so important to have things accessible to folks so they can see what's on the agenda.
I apologize. They should be. Sometimes it is an adventure to get a copy or access to Hawaii government records.
Keep in mind,
They have been online for a week.
I'm Indian, and if you guys need IT help, I could put on the accent. Okay, no problem. But if you guys need support with that, I'm good at that's easy peasy for me to set up technology stuff. So
Well, I will ask our secretary, Peter Sir, to dig into why it is so hard sometimes. I too have difficulties. I have to bounce between browsers to try to get hold of the information. But
thank you all.
Thank you.
But thank you all for your time, and I really appreciate all of you guys taking time out of your days to focus on these really important issues on the island. And I hope you guys are taking time for yourselves to meditate or breathe and get massages, and just appreciate all of you guys for this volunteer work. I was also a commissioner and know what it takes. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I also want to recognize that John Olson, our commissioner from District 4, has joined us.
Finally made it
Hi,
to the
John.
car. I got locked in the traffic out there. Who let all these people in?
They knew you were coming.
No doubt.
Are there any other members of the public who would like to provide testimony now or at the time we discuss an issue? Okay, seeing none
This is a final agenda.
or hearing none, is that nobody? All right,
Hello, can you hear me?
yes.
I got an email that this was about the mosquito thing. Is that what this is?
No, that is not the charter of this group. We strictly deal with waste, liquid and solid waste.
Okay, do you happen
So
to know where that testimony for that is? Like that there's supposed to be a meeting today according to the email I got, and this had this Zoom link on it.
I don't know. We had
If I had to
Michelle
guess,
Melendez had previously commented on that issue, and we believe that the Department of Agriculture is the place to check out. Possibly the DNLR, but not our commission. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, that's interesting. Okay.
Georgine, it's Rick. I wanted to be sure that Mr. Singh understands that we have 3 openings on the Environmental Management Commission. If he would like to serve again, if he lives in District 2, 7 or 8, I believe. No, 6 or 7. We have open seats right now.
Yeah, it's in District 2, which is down Hilo, and 7 parts of Kona. They changed the district, so I'm not sure where everything is. And District 8, another part of Kona. So depending on where you live, go try to get into the Hawaii state government site and you can apply. Thank you, Rick. Time to move on to unfinished business. Item 5. These are carryovers. I added links, but you don't necessarily need to go. I don't think we need to review them per se, but the topics are real. So I wanted to get back to them. As I've told Ramsey, I'm going to keep bugging on where the pretreatment proposed rules. I attached in the reference folder my comments that I've already given to DEM on other changes to the sewer regulations, basically, both any recommended changes to the Hawaii County code or the DEM admin rules. So Ramsey, where's the rule?
The good thing we have Dora Beck, our wastewater division chief. She could give you an update. Thank you for sharing your comments. Great comments that you provided to us. And as we get into finalizing the code and the pre-treatment ordinances, we definitely gonna utilize some of your comments and maybe all of your comments. So Dora, could you please give us an update?
Dora's not on.
Oh, she's not? I thought I saw her, but anyway, so it's work on progress. So staff are working with EBA and try to finalize the code language when it comes to pre-treatment. Once it's all finalized by them, then it's gonna be open for comments. The whole idea is they don't want to get too many comments and lose control of really the purpose of the pre-treatment process and goal. So we'll keep you updated as we move forward, but thank you for receiving your comments.
Anyway, I would, by law, they're going to be proposing regulations subject to public comment and then issuing the final DEM administrative rules. So we will have additional time, opportunity to comment what they proposed, but we've also talked when we had our hearing about other changes and confusions that we had in looking at the current sewer code, not pre-treatment per se, which is mostly focused on commercial, but the residential side of what how laterals are managed and how people are charged for their wastewater. And so if there are other things, not necessarily to show up in this pre-treatment proposal, but in general, Ramsey has asked for comments to put on his to-do list because it isn't long enough, that I would like you all to consider sending them comments. If you want something to be official from the EMC, then bring it to this group and we can write up something official. John Burns, you're squirming, or you wanted to make a comment?
Oh, no.
No, just squirming. Okay. So if there's anybody, as you may or may not have read what I had submitted, I liked what I saw in a proposal that was made a couple of years ago, as well as trying to deal with the whether you get a water bill for charging, that I was more concerned that we tackle getting as many people as we can hooked up to sewer lines and paying a fair fee for that opportunity to discharge waste. Okay, any other comments anybody would like to make at this time on that? Seeing none, move to item 2, which is the recycling grant program. And where you are, that a lot of that was included in the director's report, but perhaps Michael Rivera, the solid waste chief, could comment on where are you guys with that recycling grant?
And also, Mike, we also have Craig on the line as well. He was kind of the lead on that, so.
Okay,
Either one is fine.
I'll let Craig chime in and then I can add comments onto that, to what Craig has.
Yes, so we recently submitted the grant for the USDA Rural Development Solid Waste Management.
Can't really hear you, Craig.
Can you get closer or turn up your volume?
Can you hear me better?
Not much.
No?
Maybe you could take it on.
Just talk louder.
Yeah, so recently submitted to the USDA Solid Waste Management Grant Program for Earth Machine home composters. And then, so what we did is we looked at the rural locations. So sites not located near any green waste drop off. And that was submitted in January, beginning of this month. And the award date is in June.
Okay, so that's focused on residential
Residential, yeah, residential
for composting.
composting, yeah. And then
Okay.
also working with so we're also working with Zero Waste Hawaii Island. And with their proposal to do reusable foodware project. So that's where restaurants would supply reusable foodware to the customers. And from there, they use the foodware and then return it. And then that gets cleaned and then they just keep using it instead of using the single-use disposable foodware.
And that'll be just in Hilo, right?
Yeah, currently in Hilo, yeah.
And how much is that grant application for?
That hasn't been brought up to me yet.
Okay. So what about the bigger grant, the EPA grant for recycling infrastructure?
As far as the infrastructure, because I spoke to Zero Waste Hawaii Island and Ellen. Currently, the sites that they were looking at, Waimea, Kealakehe, Hilo, and Kea'au, they're currently not we're not able to do it right now because they need about 3 to 4 acres for their resource recovery park. But we're still, I guess, looking into it.
I think one thing too, Georgine, with working, if this is the one working with Christine. Craig?
Yeah.
I think the one thing we've kind of stressed with Christine is though we're a skeleton crew here at Solid Waste, unfortunately. So we love to partnership with some of these big collaborations, but we need support as far as the legwork in that because we don't have enough staff for that. So I think we're continuing the conversations with Christine on how are we going to roll out some of these new bigger initiatives with the amount of staff we have on hand right now, because our staff are pretty taxed as covering for vacancies that are currently that we have. So it's not just about if we support the program, which we do, it's about how are we going to make it roll out and how are we going to make it sustainable once the first initial grant comes out, how are we going to make that live on with the amount of staffing that we have on hand. So that's kind of a bigger issue. And I think we need to talk about that, how we're going to make that happen. And Craig, we also, I'm not sure if you mentioned that the $20,000 grant we got from R&D, we're able to secure a grant writer, which was our big push. So hopefully they'll be able to do some of the legwork and help, Craig has taken over this role as recycling coordinator as a TA position. He still has another job to do. So this grant writer will help us move down that avenue and be able to put some hours in for that. So that's going to be a big push this year.
And Georgine, also with the grant writer and with working with Craig, we're going to be pursuing options for this Swiffer grant with outreach and education there, then tie that in with some of the other items that Craig was mentioning with improving single source recycling and doing some school work. So that's still in the process here. We still have a little bit of time, but that requires some survey building. And that's what we're working with Craig and the survey writer on, but it's really got some more work to do there.
Okay. So my understanding initially, and I have to say I haven't kept up well enough, there was an infrastructure pot of money, and then there was going to be an education outreach pot of money, a separate grant directed more to outreach. Is that true?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there may be, I haven't seen that one issue. Open up for applications. So is that what you're talking about? The second round of grants directed more to outreach?
Yes.
Okay. I guess one of the things, looking at what you'd written up in the director's report, or answers to queries was land. We didn't have enough land at our current transfer stations. And just wondering what you're looking at, or if you could look at, or if we need to put it on a future agenda item of, so where do we get this land? If we have, I mean, everybody knows the transfer stations are over jammed and awkward as they stand, and they don't have a lot of land next to them. I have no idea whether eminent domain is even a possibility there, but looking at what other land opportunities there might be to put up some other kinds of areas for resource recovery. And one of the comments that Christine had made, Christine Kubat, at our last meeting was they need just covered space so they can store things to get enough volume to be able to do business with. So one of the comments I've heard over the years is that there are really cheap land in brownfields, and whether you've looked at that as a consideration of where could we get some more land, not to do a landfill. I know that's a whole nother controversy, but the idea of, are there some relatively cheap spaces that we could set up specifically for resource recovery?
I just want to chime in real quickly on that, because most of our transfer stations, of course, they're not County of Hawaii lands, it's DLNR lands, it's other property owners' lands. So it's not just easy for us to just kind of expand where we're at. So we need to get another department involved with, like, our property management department. Just, I don't know of any cheap lands in Hawaii, but nothing comes cheap for the government. I know that's for sure. So it is going to be a longer conversation that's going to involve more people than just the Department of Environmental Management, for sure.
Virginie?
Who is that?
This is Del.
You've disappeared.
I was wondering, yeah,
There you go. Okay, I'm sorry.
the Department of Hawaiian Homelands, have they ever thought of, contacting them about use? Because it used to be where the wastewater station would have been on Hawaiian Homelands had the state transferred the property when they're supposed to. In which case, I know Hawaiian Homes has a lot of money for infrastructure. And because we're near the water, they're more apt